Weirdly, a surgeon told me, a gastrointestinal surgeon told me,
Don't do.
well, you should know because this might happen to you, that the number one reason for like intestinal obstructions and surgery is eating too much popcorn.
It was like this all day on set. I mean, it was just a wonderful place to go to work.
Are you saying something dirty? He's saying something dirty.
Right.
Because it's an orifice? Because a tunnel reminds you of an orifice? Is that why, Alex?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
he's filthy. Filthy. This is what I have to put up with. I'm sorry, what was
This
the
is
question?
what we have to put up
Yeah.
with.
Not again. I'm not agreeing to any of this. I will make this unusable. Use that.
And Chelsea, I wanted to start with you. You seem to have been given the responsibility of carrying on John Krasinski's legacy for the mugging at the camera and getting those facial expressions. Do you have any fear or excitement about becoming a meme?
Well, now I do. I
God.
never thought of this, and now this is the rest of my days. Oh my God. Yeah, the mugging to camera, the looking to camera, is always a scary thing because it is such an iconic look, and I would never even think to follow in John Krasinski's footsteps because he was just so perfect at it. But I think it just added a fun element to our characters that, they get to have this relationship with the camera, and everyone kind of has a different relationship and are trying to hide different things and show different things. Very different than say like Sabrina's relationship with the camera where she like wants it on her. So yes, that's very sweet, and it was very fun to play. But now I'm
And Domhnall, Domhnall, how much popcorn did you actually have to eat?
This is yeah. So
we see
one other person has asked that question, and like when I watched the episode, I was like, it doesn't look like I ate a lot of I ate so much popcorn, and you're not meant to eat. A body's not built to hold that amount of popcorn. Eventually, I mean, it didn't re-pop, but it did feel
No.
like it was going to just basically.
Do you want to know something crazy?
No.
I once talked to, weirdly, a surgeon told me, a gastrointestinal surgeon told me,
Don't do.
well, you should know because this might happen to you, that the number one reason for like intestinal obstructions and surgery is eating too much popcorn.
It was like this all day on set. I mean, it was just a wonderful place to go to work. Finding out this kind of medical trauma that may exist
How have you
inside
been
of me.
feeling?
Thank you. Yeah, bloated. Bloated. So that's good.
Well, now you got to deal with that. And they used it in multiple episodes, so I thought you'd seeing him eating it in one episode and then Ned's eating it in another episode. I'm like, is this going to be a series-long thing where you're constantly eating from an infinity bucket of popcorn?
I know. Well, I'm hoping for a second season. You know what I mean? So you can find out he's still going. Yeah, that'd be ideal.
And for your character, very different from Michael Scott, very different from Leslie Knope. I think that, some of those characters, Leslie was obviously an eternal optimist. Michael started out kind of as a jerk and evolved over time. What kind of person do you think Ned is? Is he inherently a good person? Is he not as smart as he thinks he is? What kind of person is he?
I think he's both of those things. I think that he is really optimistic, but I think he's also been like damaged quite recently. He's been lied to by his family. His father has let him down. His father was his hero, and then all of a sudden that's gone away, and he's found out he's been living a lie. So he's committed to the truth in this huge way, but I think he's also going through a bit of a crisis behind the scenes. So he's trying to inspire everybody, but I think he's worried all of the time. So I think he's slightly pretending to be something he's not. He's almost lying to himself, and I think when you see those cracks appear, I think it's sort of like that's when I find him most interesting.
And Chelsea, for your character, is she the most normal person in the office, or is she somebody that people are going to eventually see, oh no, she's just as wacky in one way or another?
Well, my therapist would say, normal is normal, and everybody is normal, and also everybody is kooky. I think
You
she.
can fire that therapist. That doesn't sound.
It's really bad. Yeah, the way I said it was terrible advice.
Look, your therapist-
Normal and crazy is crazy. No, I think that she definitely has her tics and quirks. But I do also think she is somebody who feels like she's constantly surrounded by chaos. And that was very, talk about like the best seat. Like I felt like I was an audience member getting to watch like the funniest people around me. And I do think it's kind of important that she stays kind of a little more grounded with the chaos of people around her. I think that's kind of her role. And
Oscar, as the bridge kind of between these series, everybody's going to want to draw a comparison between this series and The Office. What do you feel sets this series apart from The Office?
First of all, I prefer Tunnel. As
Tunnel?
opposed to Bridge. Please pay the toll. Are you saying something dirty? He's saying something dirty.
Right.
Because it's an orifice? Because a tunnel reminds you of an orifice? Is that why, Alex?
Oh my God.
Oh, he's filthy. This is what I have to put up with. I'm sorry, what was
this
the
is
question?
what we have to put up
Yeah.
with.
This is our boss.
Listen, The Office was wonderful. People love it very much. This is a completely different show with completely different people. They're bright, they're shiny, they're young. Look at them. And I'm so happy to be there. And it has it's the same documentary crew, but it's a whole other show. So yeah, I'm just so happy to be here.
I hate to be a comedy nerd about this, but to me the show almost has like it's in the same sort of Greg Daniels cinematic universe as The Office, but but when I was writing it felt like there was a lot in common with Parks and Rec and King of the Hill and but I really felt this way in my heart of hearts that like the comedy, there's as much comedy and there's as much bonding and becoming a family and a community in the as its spiritual predecessor in The Office. But some of the earnest personality comedy reminded me a lot of King of the Hill and Parks and Rec, Leslie Knope.
Well, what I love about it is and Oscar, to your point, with some of the new people that are in this, Bemisola and Alex, your stuff before this is hilarious. Just for us, one of my favorite things. I tell everybody to watch it. Love it. And it's amazing, Alex camaraderie going on. But for writing it and appearing like your characters, Alex, we'll start with you. You spent a lot of time in these first episodes of the season. You get a couple of moments, but there's a lot of times where I just kind of see you in the backdrop and you're mugging for the camera or listening into what the other people are saying. Is it harder when you're not the center to hear everybody else doing what they're doing and try and keep a straight face, even though it's the most ridiculous thing that they might be saying?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to break more on my lines than other people's. Yeah. I was the guilty culprit in terms of breaking, but I will say that when I was watching, it felt like an acting clinic. Like everyone on the show is so different in their acting styles. Like all of us, I think, really loved the improv, especially towards the back half of the season, where they're like people started to learn how to pick their moments and like really and really like when to dive in and when to pull back. But like, watching Domhnall and Sabrina's commitment and watching Tim Key's intensity and watching like, Oscar really, really take a premise and run with it. It's really
some of us take our craft more serious than others. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Well, and speaking of taking things more seriously than others, Bemisola, for you, in that scene where it was the ab electrodes and just kind of going in there, like you have these facial expressions as your character that are just like putting people in their place or like telling them, like, you don't mess with me. Did you find this character fun to play? Do you think that there's more to explore with her? Like, how did you find your character?
Yeah, I definitely think there's more to explore, but I think it's really a lovely sort of slow burn with her. Like I think where it's a great place to start, in the sense it's someone who feels like she's surrounded by morons. She's the smartest person in the room, but she's also kind of doesn't have the energy to try. And so this new boss coming in, encouraging everyone to try, and her sort of reluctantly climbing out of her sort of burnout phase into trying, I think is a really great place. So I think there's so far we can go with her, and I did love doing that scene with Oscar. With the period. Yeah, that
was so fun, that episode, because everyone had their moments to interact with each other. It was one of our it was still on Mega Story in terms of journalist practice, but it had lots of great little set pieces. Everyone, had their own thing. Molly Ephraim, who plays my wife, Molly Ephraim had such she was fantastic. But watching, we wrote a little to the geography of the room. So this group of three, the accounting department a lot of our character dynamics are there because of where they sit in the office, and so that episode in particular, I really I have a lot of love for, because watching these two interact, me and her interact, like it's just really fun.
Group of three, this band of brothers and sisters.
And sister.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.